Hello and welcome to another Blender tutorial brought to you by the Luwizart. My name is Emmanuel Okafo and I hope you guys are doing well. In this Blender tutorial, I'll be looking at how to combine 3D elements and 2D elements and bring them together inside Blender. So basically what we'll be worrying about in this tutorial is basically how to understand using shadow cutter to generate shadows and reflections. And the final stage is how to use the Blender compositor to bring all of this together. So this definitely is going to be useful when you're creating 3D art because in some instance you might not have the time to be able to create nice buildings or nice backgrounds, and knowing how to combine or using this trick is very helpful. So we're just gonna have three phases in this tutorial. So the first stage is just setting up the camera, adding the image. The second stage is setting up the lighting and just basic materials, and the final stage is render and compositing. So this should be really fun for all of us. So let's jump right into the tutorial. Before we go in right into tutorial, let's see what the final scene looks like that I created. So if we hit render, this is what you get. Just the basic Luwizart text on this building. As you can see, it's casting shadow. It's kind of reflecting the ground. So I'm going to be showing you a trick which I used to achieve this, especially when you don't have the HDRI for the scene. So I'm going to be showing you how you can just fake that. And also we can see it's interacting with it, and even lighting um, with the roof is interacting with it. So yeah. So if you look at this thing, you can see I have like some shapes that are even obstructing the balls. So we'll be looking at that. And yeah, let's jump right into a new scene. So for the first step, basically what we're going to do is just um, get any image. You could get it from Google. So this is the one I got from Google. So we can check out the image details. So here you can find the size of the image. So the size of this image is 3000 by 2250. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well. Anyways, so I'm just going to input those values in the render dimensions, because if you don't do it that way, um, it's going to reduce, or the aspect ratio of the image is going to turn out weird. So if you're happy with the size, the aspect ratio of the image, you want to adjust your scene dimensions to match the dimensions of the image. So I'm going to set it to 2000 to 50. Okay, so now we can just basically go ahead and add a camera, and you can go into camera view if you by going to view camera, or you could just hit zero very easily. So once you do that, you can go to the camera settings, click on background, so we can load up the background image, and we'll leave it at image and open. So I have mine saved here, so I'm just gonna open it up. So you can play with the alpha side slider if you like. So I'm just gonna leave it as default. So now, let's before we move forward, we need to align the 3D scene. So a very good way to do this is to add a plane. So we want the plane to match roughly with the ground of the 3D scene. Because right now we can see it doesn't match, and we can rotate this plane, but this is not the way to go because you want to keep everything flat. So what we're going to adjust is the camera instead. So let's go into wireframe so we can see more. We can go to view. We can bring up this end, this tool panel here, and go to view and click on camera to view. So now we can just rotate this till we see it matches roughly. It doesn't really have to be perfect because we're not kind of creating an animated shot. We are just creating a static shot, so it doesn't really need to be so perfect pixel by pixel. So this is quite nice. So we can check if it's really works. Let's scale this up and cursor selected and add a cube to see if it's going to match the the building. So we can see roughly it kind of matches the building, but it's not perfect. So at this point, you can still just move the camera around. So I've been able to like just roughly match out the scene. It doesn't really take much time. There are also softwares that help you do this really faster. So those kind of software is an example is FSpy. It's a free tool that you can just import the data into Blender and it works perfectly. So if you don't want to spend time doing it manually, you can actually just use the FSpy to achieve the same result. Anyways, so we have the basics and set out, we have the floor, and we have a representation of the building, which is not so perfect. At this point, we can just adjust this just to match the building even more. Okay. So the reason we're adding this object is just basically so that it serves as a shadow catcher, so that it can be very interactive with the object or any object we add in the scene. So let's go ahead and add that object. So that object we'll be adding is gonna be a text. So we'll go ahead and just call this Luwizart. Rotate X 90 degrees and let's just scale it. And now we can go into the camera view and make sure we have the camera turned on. Okay. So we can now place it in a right position and we can just place it on the building because we know the building aligns with the 2D building. So it's going to work very well. So now we can just extrude this in the text panel and just add some bevel. Okay. So once you've done that, we can start prepping for render. So for the render, let's add the light, or let's just hit F12 first of all, so we can see what we get. So we're just getting a generic 3D scene, which is what you should expect because we have not set up like anything yet. So first of all, I'm just going to reduce the percentage, which is set to 100. I'm going to reduce it to like 30 so I can have faster feedback. And let's do the lighting. So for the lighting, I'm going to use a combination of HDRI with a sun lamp. So let's do that. So for lighting scenes like this, you want to look at the image because if your 3D object is showing different shadow position from the background image, it's going to look really obvious that this is fake. So if you want it to be seamless, you want the 3D object shadows to match the 2D object, the 2D image shadows. So from looking at it, we can see that the shadow is coming this direction. So let's just add a UV sphere and just scale it down slightly. And I'm just gonna go to another view. And here in this view, I'm just gonna add a sun lamp. And for the setting, I'm gonna set the strength to about 5. Um, then I can change it if it's not like working as I want. Just gonna move this here and rotate it slightly. So we can start the render preview to see how it's interacting. Okay, so right now we are seeing these buildings and we don't need to see them because they're meant to act like shadow catchers. So for us to do that, we can just select the plane and the building and just combine it into one mesh. And it's not really necessary, it's just, I just want it to be one mesh, so I don't have to worry about selecting two meshes. So you want to go to this nice box icon and go down to visibility and check on shadow catcher. So once you do that, you will notice that you cannot see the building again, but now you can see the shadow, which is what you want. So, but I want an instance where I can also see the background image so I can eyeball everything right in the viewport. So I can just go down to film and check on transparent, and now I can see the transparent preview. So I want to I want to be able to see my background. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. So I mean, we are seeing it here. We should see it. Anyway, so since we're seeing it in this window, so it's fine. So here we can just use this as reference to really eyeball that the shadows are aligning. Okay, so it's looking good. It's not perfect, but it looks good. So for the next step, we can see that compared to the shadows of the building and the foreground shadow, we can see that it's quite sharp. So to fix that, we'll just play with the angle. We set the angle to like 2. So it's not enough. We can increase the angle of the sun lamp. So the more you increase the angle of the sun lamp, the more feathered the edges of the shadows are going to get. So you want to play with that depending on the background image you're working with. So yeah, it's good. And we can see we're getting nice shadow casted from the building, which is exactly what we want. And we're getting the shadow interact with the building. So let's just add reflection. So really play with the reflection to also make the reflection match the lighting. So we can see definitely it's not matching. Let's go to the word panel. I already have a HDRI which I'm using, which is a studio HDRI, and it definitely don't match this kind of environment. So one thing you might want to do is either get the right HDRI of your scene, or get something closer to it. Or if you don't have access to both of that, we are going to fake it. So we can just go ahead and delete this sky node, and we'll just switch this HDRI image into this one, so into the background image, and we are going to cancel from generated to reflection, and of course we need a background shader like this. So we increase the strength. Now you can see it's reflecting the buildings, because if we have it set to generated, it's not going to look so nice. But if you have it set to reflection, it's going to kind of wrap around the object and look even nicer. So now you can play with the light position. And the good thing is that we're also interacting with the scene. But I mean, this is not really perfect for animation, since like if it's moving, it's not really perfect. So if you're trying to do animation, the best idea is to like probably get like an HDR that is closer to the final image. And a good place where you can find that is like HDR Heaven. You get free HDRIs there. So if that's not an option, you can fix this. And maybe if you want to make it less obvious, you can maybe increase the roughness of the HDR. But if it's for a still image, it works perfectly. Like it blends well with the scene, as you can see here. So let's say we are happy with this, and we can move to the next process. Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you a trick how to actually make the 3D object interact with the 3D scene, whereby if you want the 3D object not to be visible because of it's at the back of the building, you can achieve that. So let's prep for render. Can just hit F12. Okay. So now in the compositor, so we want to make sure we click on use node, and if you hold on Control Shift click, you will bring out this viewer node. In case you don't have this, you want to go to preference and search for node wrangler. This comes with Blender by default, so you want to check on this nice node here. It has so much features that will really speed up your workflow when working with nodes inside Blender. So this is how it looks. Let's add the image. So you just want to go to input, image, and you want to click on this drop down here, and we can load in the building. So it's going to load it up. So one thing I like to do is go to distort and add the scale node. So this scale node usually allows you to be able to you can tell the image to scale alongside with the render. So if you even reduce the resolution of the render, this image is going to scale down to match the render. So let's set it to scale with render size. Okay, so as you can see, since I reduced the render to like 25%, the image is going to scale down to 25%, which is nice. So now let's go ahead and add alpha over node, and then we'll move this for the background. We'll put it above the alpha image node, and then combine it. So as you can see, it just blends in perfectly with the scene, and it's the HDRI, the fake HDRI which we created, is really helping out with this process. So as you can see, it looks really well blended. So at this stage, all you just need to do is color correction, or just play with the lighting to even get it even better. So yeah, so that's basically it. So let's go into the next stage where I'm going to show you how to occlude objects, like when the object is in back of building and you don't want it to be visible. So to do that, it's quite straightforward. You just duplicate this object here, and let's go to since selecting the object which we just duplicated, we go to the object panel and scroll down to viewport display. We want to switch the display type to wire, just so we can be able to differentiate it from the shadow catcher. Okay, and what you just basically want to do is selecting the duplicated image, you want to click on hold out. So once you have this hold out enabled, and we go into our render view, everything still looks the same. But if we select this cube and duplicate this ball and duplicate it, now we can move it at the back of the building, which is really cool. So you can move this as long as you have like a 3D object actually occluding it. You can have cool stuff like this. Yeah. So finally, the last stuff we'll talk about is the shadow catcher reflection. So basically, all you want to do is, let's say we want to add a reflection plane here, so that we can interact. We can make this window interactive. So we'll just add a random plane, scale it up to match the position of the image. So you want to make sure it's placed well, because if it's not placed well, it will actually not show, because of we have something occluding 3D object. So just move this outward slightly. Okay, so I think it's okay. It's gonna work. So we can even duplicate it some more. And let's combine this object. Cool. So basically what you want to do is same thing, you make it a shadow catcher, so it's not visible. So for the final step, you want to hit new and change this from principal BFDS to glossy, and you want to reduce the roughness to 0. So look, right now it looks like nothing is happening, but if I move um, this sphere closer to the window, you will start to see it's actually being reflective. It's being reflected um, there. So it's going to like kind of fake the illusion that it's actually passing through windows, because you want it to feel really interactive. So anyway, that's it, guys. I hope this was a fun ride, and I'm glad you guys stayed this long into this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, and if you wish to see more from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So thank you for watching this. Bye bye for now. See you next time.